We make choices every single day, like what to eat, where, say, and sometimes we make choices subconsciously. However, some choices go much more deeper than that, like the ones that shape who we are. For me, the power of choice started to mean something very real when I saw my parents face things no one would ever choose. When we were younger, we usually believed that if we made the right decision, everything turns out the way we expect it to, right? However, as I grew older, I learned otherwise. That some challenges arrive without warning. And in that moment, the power of choice shifts from choosing what happens to choosing how we respond. 10 years ago, my father got diagnosed with HSP, hereditary spastic paraplegia, a rare neurological disease. And 3 years ago, my mother got diabetic neuropathy. Both of my parents were fighting battles I couldn't fix. Life started to shift in ways I couldn't control. Watching this, I realized something difficult, yet important. None of us choose this situation, not me, nor my parents. Yet every single day required certain choices. Choices about patience, about attitude, and whether to give in to the frustration or rise above it. What stood out for me the most is that even when life became hard and unpredictable, they chose to keep going. They chose laughter over sadness, hope over fear, gratitude over anger. I learned that being strong isn't about being in control. It's about choosing to move forward even when everything feels out of your hands. I'll be honest though, some days aren't easy. The awkward look in public, the exhaustion that comes from trying to keep everything together, and the endless doctor's appointments. Yet still, their perseverance shaped me. Because of them, I learned not to give up no matter how tough things get. I realized that even when we don't choose our circumstance, we still have the power to choose how we react. And that is the most important choice. Their strength also reminded me that the power of choice often shows up in quiet ways. It's not always a big, dramatic decision. Sometimes it's the little things, like choosing to adapt instead of giving up, or choosing to face another day even when it feels tiring. These choices, repeated over and over again, build the real resilience. And through this journey, I also learned that my own choices matter. I could either choose to shut down, or I could choose to grow. These experiences taught me that the power of choice isn't just something we talk about. It's something we practice every day, especially when life tests us the most. Recently, my father has taught me a quote that has stuck with me for a while. القناعة كنز لا يفن. Contentment is a treasure that never diminishes, meaning that we must always be grateful for what we have. We can either focus on what's missing, or we can focus on what we already cherish. Gratitude itself is a decision. Choosing contentment doesn't mean choosing hardship, but rather not letting hardship control who you are and who you become. And also, we still have the ability to choose perspective, meaning, and hope. So to me, the power of choice isn't about what happens. It's about what we decide to become through it. Thank you.